And we begin tonight with the future of abortion rights in Michigan, which has some new developments.
Today, a judge ruled Michigan's 1931 anti-abortion law violates the Michigan Constitution. The law makes it a crime to perform abortions unless the life of the mother is in danger. Today's ruling is not the final say, however, on abortion access in Michigan. Opponents will likely appeal.
Meantime, the Michigan Supreme Court is considering whether to place an amendment on the November ballot. That would add abortion rights to the Michigan Constitution. The deadline is coming up. They have until Friday to issue an order.
Michigan Attorney General Nessel is making it clear where she stands on this issue. She's urging the state Supreme Court to allow Michigan voters to decide.
And 13 on your side's Keely Levern joins us now to break down what the Attorney General is working to do. Keely.
Well, as several parties we know have weighed in on this major decision, the Attorney General says she's arguing that the Board of State Canvassers went beyond their power when they deadlocked last week to keep the Reproductive Freedom For All off the November ballot.
The Michigan Board of Canvassers could not decide if the Reproductive Freedom For All proposal should go on the November ballot.
I think this sets the most dangerous precedent I can possibly imagine.
The decision was split 2-2 down party lines. The two Republican members cited spacing errors as their reason for voting no.
And they effectively created and applied legislation of their own. Somehow, their decision is more important than the decision that was made by hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people.
Now the decision is in the hands of the Michigan Supreme Court.
And to have the courts have to weigh in on every single solitary issue, I don't think is something that our Constitution ever really contemplated.
In filing her brief with the state Supreme Court, Dana Nessel argues the unelected board acted beyond its authority and undermined the democratic process.
These two unelected members of the Republican Party could not just usurp the legislature in terms of the powers that were provided to them, but really would, thwart the will of people. And I can't think of anything more undemocratic than that.
The Attorney General says if the decision is allowed to stand, future proposals are in jeopardy.
That, as the Republicans on the board have said, that a spacing issue or a typographical issue should supersede what so many people in this state deem to be a fundamental right.
Nessel says the state Supreme Court needs to act by Thursday because Friday is the deadline to finalize the ballot, and she urges all 7 justices to rule in favor.
In the event this doesn't appear on the ballot, there is still an opportunity. Obviously, there's the Planned Parenthood case. There's also the governor's case against the various prosecutors. So this could be revisited by the Michigan Supreme Court later.
So the Michigan Supreme Court says they are expected to issue an order by Friday, which could be for or against placing it on the ballot. We will, of course, continue to follow this story closely and report any updates both on air and online at 13onyourside.com.
Thank you, Keely.